Happy One-Hit Wonder Wednesday. Sports of the Chad Benson Show is powered by NCA National Certified Alarms. No long-term contracts. License number 645. So much stuff to get to today. So much. But first, ladies and gentlemen, Belle, tell the world your news.
I finally have my car out from under a hot power line.
Yay, Brother Below. Way to go, brother.
Thank you.
And I don't remember who it was, but there was a listener on the text line who arranged for it to be taken care of, and I would like to thank him. And from now on, instead of talking about the live power line being on my car, we're going to do a never-ending countdown to how many days the line has been off the car.
Spectacular. Look at that. Oh, congratulations. And that's a win right there.
Yes, sir.
That's a win. Very exciting. I saw the NES thing yesterday.
Yeah, what'd you think about that, Brother Chad?
Yeah. This is nice. So there's that. They're trying to explain how, our vendor process, nobody cares. At some point in time, desperate measures called in this desperate times, and you did nothing. She goes, there'll be an after-action report. She was, they all looked just like a deer in the headlight. They knew it was coming. And you got these reporters asking, why didn't you spend all that money? Well, we didn't cut any money for tree trimming. Well, yeah, great. You allocated all this money, and then you didn't use it all. Well, yeah, there was that. So,
I think she was talking about how they're on schedule for tree trimming this year.
Yes. Well, that's good. Well, you don't have to worry about that. They all fell over.
Yeah, Mother Nature handled that. They ought to save a lot of money.
So as I walk in today, I go by the roundabout, and the park where all the trees, they're all gone now. That little park there, all but 2 trees are gone. They're just, and I'm like, down to the nubs. So, yeah, this was they know it's coming. They're just now negotiating. Okay, what kind of golden parachute can I get?
Yeah.
Or do you think, you know what? Can I hold on long enough that we forget about this? That this goes away? Mm-hmm. That this goes.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. And I love the part where we're not going to charge anybody late fees. Hey, thanks for doing us a solid. Thanks. Thank you so much for doing everybody a solid. It was what you expected as best they can do. They have no excuses. They don't. And they couldn't really, why didn't you have more people in place? It's that simple. And now I was watching a couple weather people earlier on the old TikTok weather folks, and they're saying, hey, coming from the 10th to the 20th, we could get another massive storm moving across Europe.
Son of a biscuit eater.
And they're talking about this one's going to bring a lot of snow.
So we're going to have to bring the chapped ass reports back.
Chapped ass reports may be coming back, kids. It's going to be, but what'd you guys think of it? You listened to it. I watched it when I got home, but what'd you think of it?
What I got from, I've watched a lot of press conferences, and she was choosing her responses carefully as to deflect any type of blame whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what the heads of industry do in these cases like this. Whenever their backs are to the wall, they've got to deflect that blame, onto other things. There is still no, to me the interesting back and forth between Teresa Brolyn-Aplin and the reporters on the tree trimming budget was interesting because at one point, she's claiming they didn't cut the budget. The reporters are citing their own reports that shows the budget was cut for tree trimming.
And they didn't even use it all.
And then when she wraps it up by saying, she's asked about 2025, and she says, from what I know, we are on schedule for 2026.
Oh, there you go.
Well, she's already lied once and been caught. Why do we believe anything you have to say, lady? Just resign.
Well, and it's, I'm not saying that this is the case. Only she knows. But it could be a matter of she has no idea what's in those reports.
Yeah. And you need to know, there's a few things that you need to know when you're running something like this. Like if you're running a company that flies airplanes, you need to know that your airplanes, they're good. They stay in the air, right? You need to know that. You need to know what your pilots are doing. whether or not some of the ticket issues that you can handle a little bit later that's more putting out fires and bad PR rather than trying to tell everybody, I can't believe our plane crashed into the sea. Like, that's what you knew. And this was one of those things. And you knew. The biggest thing for me, all of this is you knew it was coming. That's just it. You knew it was coming. And that is, of all of the stuff that we could sit here and talk about, you were completely, as they say, you were caught with your pants down.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and, she kept using the term, the weather that was forecasted. Well, and they were under the impression that the ice was going to stay southwest of Nashville. And yes, that was the initial forecast. However, the winter storm alert for all of Middle Tennessee includes the possibility of ice. So you can't just, I would think you can't just sit back and say, well, they're saying they think the ice is going to stay southwest of Nashville, so we don't need that many crews. I don't think you can make those assumptions in a case like that.
No.
And because apparently other cities and even utilities here in Middle Tennessee did not make that assumption.
And the assumption, it was just so poorly planned. Everybody knew it was coming, and I would rather have way more than I need at that moment in time than less. Because way more, you got to explain to people why you guys spend a little bit more, to the board. That's fine. You know what you have to figure out now? Who's writing up our resumes?
Well,
that's a different story now because this failure, like I love what one of the reporters asked, I don't know if it was from WSV or SMV or it was Fox, who said, what do you tell those people whose kids, haven't been able to sleep in their own beds? They've got no more money for hotels for the last several days. They've run out of, their food's been destroyed and all. And she just kind of looked like, you don't have to pay your late fee. So there's that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. She looked at times resigned.
What I would prefer not to pay is her salary.
Yeah.
So if we could get rid of her and we can get on the road to making sure this never happens again.
Well, and if you couple, I think the scrutiny is going to shift to this Metro board that governs NES.
Yes.
This 5-member board that Mayor Freddie O'Connell said the day before yesterday, I believe it was, that he has only appointed 2 of those members, 2 of the 5 members. But, the news that they approved a 10% raise for her in November, and then you couple that with the fact that everybody's property taxes went through the roof. Oh. And then now they're dealing with this. I don't know, man.
That's a lot to explain to everybody. You're paying more and getting way less. I've already started to see these, so many of these stories about how insurance has already told these people, hey, sorry your place flooded. Sorry that your electricity went out and all your plants died or whatever. We're not paying for anything. The insurance companies are figuring out how they don't have to pay for some of this stuff, even though you kept because it was a freak thing or because you're going to sue NES.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of, and having grown up in a place like California, I'm used to incompetence, like great incompetence. I'm used to, people coming up going, I can't believe the whole place burned down.
What, there's a fire in California?
And then I would move out to Arizona and we were pretty competent, I'm like, Doug Ducey, the governor, was pretty good. And, we were pretty damn competent for a lot of the stuff that we were doing. But, this was spectacular because you knew it was coming. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah, and apparently, and then, when she was explaining, the timeline for the additional linemen or line crews, she said they called up 88 more from Memphis. Only 88.
Because all the other states grabbed the other ones.
Yeah, I guess that was the case.
But it was.
I just want to know why she hasn't been fired yet.
Well, you don't fire because you got to remember. This is all about after action reports. They got to do it's government stuff. It's all this kind of city municipality. They got to go through things. They have to have 28 hearings, and then she'll slowly resign on her own in like end of March or early April because she'll take another job at some other place where she's going to be on the board and get fat money, and they're going to give her fat money here to go away.
Anybody out there that would hire her is an idiot.
So, well, I mean, again, it is one of those things where I expect less. That's what you need to do. That should be their thing. NES. Expect less.
8,700 people are still without power.
There you go. So when do we think that's going to be zero?
They say hopefully by Monday.
Hopefully by Monday. So there you guys go. Some of those people probably were never going back to our house. The other thing, too, is how many people that I have heard or seen on the news or whatever said there was never any alerts when it came to when our power might be back on. There was never anything. And then the stuff that we would get, it would be a wild text that says your power's back on and the power's not back on.
And they'd go home and it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Leaving the hotel room that they had secured that now they've lost because so many people were trying to get hotel rooms.
Yeah. So
I don't know, man. It's
this one's going to sting.
It's a big mess.
This one's a big one. This is going to sting.
You know what really made me understand that she's not competent to be leading a company like this is that press conference she did last night. She would just looked so like a deer in headlights and was doing her best just to not admit responsibility for any of it.
Yeah. And she kept saying there'll be accountability after. There'll be accountability after. Okay, we get that. But the way this works, I've seen this a gazillion times. They never disappear. They just go sideways or up. Remember the VA mess from several years ago out there in Phoenix and stuff that everybody's talking about? Yeah. None of those people were fired. What did they all do? They got bonuses and they got elevated to other positions outside of the VA. Nobody ever has an accountability in a lot of these things. They just don't do that. And it sucks, but it's true. Got to get one of those jobs, boys. Man, do you imagine how good we'd be? And we're total goofballs.
Yeah.
I got white shoes. I look like I'm a professional skateboarder.
She literally sets the bar so low that almost anybody could look successful.
Yeah, you could limbo over. You can't limbo under it, but you could walk over it. Mm-hmm. So much fun stuff to get to today besides the chaos and craziness. Man, the white women... Oh, Lord, are they out of control.
All right.
One-hit wonders.
Woo, I got a good one.
And by the way, I took several of your suggestions today over the last several days for one-hit wonders, and I'm running with the people. I don't know what Bell has for his one-hit wonder.
I literally don't yet.
Okay, there he goes. He was looking at some stuff yesterday. He's like, I think I'm going to do the 60s. And I'm like, I'm sure it's going to be obscure and weird. And we just found out that Wackadoo was sentenced to life, huh? That Routh guy?
Yeah. Ryan Routh sentenced to life in prison. Plus 84 years just in case he's a vampire.
You never know. You never know. So watch it, though. He'll figure out a way to donate to Trump's campaign or this new thing. And then Trump's like, I think we should pardon him. Oh, Lord. But and then interesting stuff about Savannah Guthrie's mom. That whole thing with her disappearing and
it's just getting weirder by the day.
It is getting weirder. They're like, well, you think maybe the brother-in-law did it? You're like, what? Yeah. So a lot of good stuff. But the white women are on fire today. So be prepared, people, because the white women are coming hard. And for you men out there and you women and even some of you liberals, you better watch out because Kylie's in a mood. Oh, all that, so much more straight ahead. Chad Benson Show. It's Wednesday. You know what that means.
Coffee bar. She's live streaming from her car. Fair trade, tote, bread, UHD. Telling workers what they ought to be. Let me center your experience. She said. Speaking over everyone. Got a thread for every human sin. But blocks you if you don't chime in. It's White Woman Wednesday.
It is White Woman Wednesday. And I will tell you, there are some white women out there that... Kylie's, we might need to get her some help. First of all, she didn't like the fact that she's been overtaken by that crazy lady last week. Remember that crazy lady? And this one, though, today is spectacular. So where do we start with her? Now, do you have liberal friends that may be secretly conservative? I'm serious. That's what she's talking about. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and here's how you can figure out if your friend is secretly a conservative. There are a lot of white liberals who are essentially conservatives, which is exactly what Malcolm X was warning people about.
That is not what Malcolm X was warning people about. None of that was about what Malcolm was warning about the liberal. Not one of those. That you have a liberal friend that was secretly conservative trying to get. No, he worried exactly for what most of these people are. A bunch of panderers who think that people of color are stupid.
People about. So here's what I do to expose them, and it's very easy. Number one, mention any sort of buzzword specifically related to the patriarchy. If you're around your friends and you're like, yeah, I really don't like how everything is so centered around men. Like, I hate that we live in the patriarchal society we live in. Conservative women get very offended by anything that you say that's negative about men because they're low-key pick-me's, so this will provoke a reaction. Number two, talk about how you're excited about Mum Donnie's election. Anything regarding socialism is like a huge buzzword for people to reveal themselves. So if they're like, no, socialism never works, socialism is terrifying, blah, 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 they probably have deep-seated conservative beliefs that they just aren't sharing with you. And number three, talk about sports specifically involving queer people.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know why there will be a lot of liberals who are very homophobic, very transphobic. And this is when they reveal themselves the most. How they talk about trans people says everything about their character. Try it out. Let me know if it works. Bye.
Bye.
So where do we start there? All right. So low key, right? Make sure that you insult men and treat them like crap and see if their friends go, hey, I don't think that's very cool. I think you hate men. Oh, it's because you're voting for Reagan and Trump.
I knew it.
Hey, do you think Jim over there should be Jenny and dunk on all these women? I don't think that's fair. Of course not, because you love Jesus and Trump. Oh, white women.
Oh, my gosh.
She has lost her ever-loving mind. How do you get there? There is one, I got time to play. This lady is nuts. This lady may be the craziest of all. In fact, they called CPS on her.
Wow.
Yeah. How people get into the echo chamber and believe all this. It's a white woman, by the way. And she's all done up, right? Crazy hair, which I'm totally cool with, punk rock looking. By the way, I know a ton of punk rock people that are anything but left-leaning.
Yeah.
This chick, woo.
I often think that if it gets to the point of knocking on doors.
She's talking about ICE.
God, and like, to
ICE.
even have these thoughts, it's like I'm literally separating from reality right now. If it comes down to me taking out myself and my kids versus us being taken and harmed by ICE, like, God help me, I did not want to do it. This is not the life I wanted. But that is a very dark thought that I've had. Death would be a easier out than for my children to be taken and harmed by these pedophiles. I really pray it doesn't get bad enough.
Wait. You think that ICE is coming after you and your kids?
Because they're pedophiles?
Because they're pedophiles? I mean, I'm trying to figure out. They're going door to door like you're Anne Frank? By the way, they didn't know who Anne Frank was. They were like, we should find this Anne Frank lady. So they didn't. They just were looking for.
She's in the attic.
So Child Protective Services was called on her?
Yeah, their Child Protective Services.
Well, after something like that, yeah.
I mean, wow. She's like, hey, kids, I may have to, take you out because of what, Mom? Because you're nuts? Stop watching MS Now.
Wow.
How do you get to that point where you believe that? At no point did you think, maybe I should step out and just see what's going on. Just when you thought Kylie was nuts. Just when you thought, although she is nuts. A lot of you are trying to unpack Kylie.
I don't think Kylie's that nuts.
No. She's very performative. But I also think she's never not been a victim. Ever.
I just wonder if she's ever going to run out of a scenario. She's not.
Oh, don't worry, because in a later White Woman Wednesday, we've got a situation where she talks about, you know what you have to do? You have to be put in scenarios. I'm sure you do. And you've never not been in one. Oh, ladies, you guys keep the patriarchy is everything. The patriarchy. Thank you very much for that. So that's what we got. We got so much more of that. One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Have you found one yet, Bell?
Yeah.
All right, Brother Bell.
So get ready for it. One Hit Wonder Wednesday is straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. So I got to look at Savannah Guthrie's mom disappeared. She's 84. And Chris and I were talking about the fact that her, I guess the last ping she had on her heart thing was Sunday?
Her pacemaker.
Her pacemaker. And Savannah last night, because she was supposed to be one of the 3 or 4 faces of the Olympics. And NBC told her, you don't have to do anything, take care of all this stuff. So today, TMC's like, we heard maybe the brother-in-law. We're like, really?
So this would be her husband's brother?
This would be her sister's husband.
Okay.
And Annie, I guess Savannah's sister, referred to her husband as her greatest teacher. He's a great manifester. He was born in Italy. And I guess so something happened because she didn't show up for church, and that's where it was and they said this lady was specifically picked for this. And so I think a lot of people are looking around going, did the great manifest? I'm not saying he did anything, but he is Italian. Not saying anything. I'm kidding, Italians. Okay? So we'll see. But this is a weird thing, and that's scary to know that the pacemaker's only been pinging since Sunday, so... Yeah, absolutely random if it's not. 100%. So we'll have more on that. Bunch of other stuff. Hour number 2 coming up. We're going to have an Olympic update because the Olympics kicked off today. They got a new sport that's insane. We'll talk about that. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.